I've made over $1 million by flipping and wholesaling properties that I found right off of the MLS. The best way to find these properties on the MLS is to have the proper auto searches set up so that these properties are coming to you. In today's video, I'm going to share with you exactly how to set up all of your auto searches, and I'm going to give you all of the auto searches that I have completely for free as well. Alrighty, today I'm going to show you guys exactly how to set up auto searches on the MLS so that you can find real estate deals right off of the MLS. What makes me qualified to talk about this? Well, I found the very first 36 deals that I ever did as a real estate wholesaler and a flipper right off of the MLS. And I did this by the time I was 21, heading into 22 years old. So I know exactly how to do this. I made a couple $100,000 from doing this before I even started an official team and started hiring people to do it for me. So I'm pretty sure I kind of know what I'm talking about, and I'm just going to show you guys how to do it all today for free. So the first thing you guys need to know is there are different types of auto searches, and a lot of people don't even know that. So let me go ahead and make sure you guys can see my screen here. Fantastic. So went ahead and made this so that you guys can understand the different types of auto searches. Now, perfect. So I went ahead and labeled these different colors because the different colors represent the different kinds of searches. So the ones in yellow are just going to be normal keyword searches. So I will go ahead and show you guys how to set those up. And by the way, feel free to jot these searches down. These are some of the searches, but they are not all of them. If you want a list of all the searches that I use, I'm going to go ahead and leave a link to a PDF down in the description with every single search that I have set up. So, just enjoy having that for free. But the ones here in yellow are keyword searches. The one here in blue is a days on market search, which I will show you how to set that up. The ones here in this bright green are an actual filter that come preset on the MLS, and it's your job to learn how to toggle that on or off. And then the ones in white, they have a couple more steps to them, but they're nothing complicated. Like, I could teach a third grader how to do this. Well, maybe a pretty smart third grader, not the ones like the ones that I went to school with when we were in third grade, but the smart ones, So let's go ahead and talk about how to set these up. Let's start off with this one here that says must sell. So actually what I'm doing is I'm setting these up for my friend because he wholesaled me a deal. He wholesaled me this little condo that that made me 30 grand, and I'm just very grateful for the $32,000 that came my way. So I'm just going to go ahead and set these up for him, and might as well just show you guys how to do it too. So every MLS is a tiny bit different, but for the most part, they're all pretty much the same thing. So I go to search residential, and the first thing you're going to want to do is you want to check the active box, the coming soon box, the under contract show box, and the under contract no show box. You want to select all of these, okay? And then once you do that, you want to go to this little wrench right here and hit set currently selected search criteria as my starting default. So go ahead and click that. Now, the reason we go ahead and do that is because for all these searches that we're going to set up, we want to get notified whenever a property is active, it's going to be coming soon, if it's under contract, or if it's under contract, no show. Actually, I'm wrong. Just kidding. You want to only select active and coming soon. I was getting a little bit of ahead of myself here with the under contract show and under contract no show, but I will make a separate video on when it does make sense to select those. So for now, only select active and coming soon. So forgive me, I had a little brain fart there. So active and coming soon, and then you're going to hit the wrench and click on that button. But I will make another video on when you do need to click under contract show and under contract no show, because that's going to get you an extra like
3 to 4 deals a year. And if each deal makes you 15 to $20,000, it's an extra 80 to 100 grand a year if you know how to work these two filters correctly. But that's a whole separate video. So for now, just know all you need is active and coming soon. Okay, once you've set those up, like we just talked about, the first search that we want is the one that says must sell. So, how on earth do we do that? Well, we want to scroll down, and your MLS might come with a filter here that says agent to agent remarks and public remarks. If it doesn't come with that, just go to the add/remove section, search for those in here. It might be faster if you just type them in really quick. Hit add and just go back. So this MLS looks like it already has it. So you don't really have to really do too much. Now, here's what you want to do. For every single one of these words that you see in yellow, you're actually going to have to set the search up twice. And here's why. Some agents, they will go ahead and put that search term in the agent to agent remarks only. So that means only realtors can see when that word is used in a listing description. And if they make it so that only realtors can see that, and you don't go ahead and set up a search in the agent to agent remarks, you're never going to get notified whenever a property hits that market with that key search. And vice versa. If they put it in the public remarks, you're and you only had it set up to get notified if it's in the agent to agent remarks, you are never going to be notified of that property. So my biggest recommendation is make sure for all these that you see in yellow, you're going to have to do it twice. It's a little bit annoying, but it is what it is. So one thing you have to do is you have to put an asterisk before and after the term. I don't know why, but it's just what the MLS requires. So you type in must sell, and looks like there are 32 properties on the MLS here in Las Vegas where the realtor put and the agent to agent remarks that they must sell this property. So from there, I'm just going to click on my results. I'm going to click on save, going to click on new auto email, going to click on contact, and looks like you're going to have to set up a contact. Let me go ahead and pull their emails really quick. Create new contact. You want to put your name in here, and then you want to put your email. Okay, so you save that. And then if you want anyone else to receive that email as well, and then you scroll down on the subject line. Here's the best way to do it. You write agent because that's going to remind you, okay, I set this up as an agent remark, and then I put the term must sell. So whenever I get a notification, I can just see, okay, this is my must sell keyword search in my agent remarks. So then I scroll down to the bottom. You don't want to get notified daily. That's way too slow. Guys like me are going to get notified ASAP, and we're going to take your deal every single time. Um, so you want to make sure it's set up ASAP for you to get notified, and then you're going to hit save. Okay. And that would be it for the first one. Now we go back to residential and we do the exact same thing, but instead of putting it in the public remarks, instead of putting in the agent remarks this time, we're going to go ahead and put it in the public remarks. So right here, must sell. Looks like only one property is on the market where the agent is publicly advertising to the world that this house must sell. This is a perfect example of why certain keywords you have to put them in both the agent remarks and in the public remarks. Because if you were being lazy and you only put it in the public remarks, you would only get notified whenever one property hit the market with that search. Whereas there's actually 32 other properties on the market right now that the realtor is saying, hey, this property must sell. They might be willing to take a discount because there is something going on in that seller's life where they have to sell the property. So if you're lazy and you're like, oh man, I just wanted to set up my search in the public or in the agent to agent, but I don't want to have to go through all this work twice. Well, you're just not going to make a lot of money. And if you don't want to make a lot of money, that's okay too, but just don't lie to yourself. So that is why you're going to want to put it in both the agent to agent and in the public remarks. I can't think of a better example than 32 to 1 in this case. So we hit results, hit save, new auto email, contact my friend Gabe, and then CC. And then what do we do here? We're not going to write agent. We're going to write public must sell. There we go. We scroll down to the bottom, and what do we hit? ASAP. There we go. Fantastic. All right. Next up, what do we got? Next up, we have, I'm going to show you guys one more example with a normal keyword, such as original. And then I'm going to show you guys examples with some of these other ones as well. Um, all of these are going to be very different examples, with the exception of the one that we just did and the one that we're about to do. Those are done pretty much the exact same way, but I just want to show you guys one more example in case, I don't know, you're watching this on a holiday, you're a little wasted or something. But um, cool. So we scroll down. We only have our active and our coming soon set up, because we only want to get notified whenever a property hits the market if it's active or if it's about to hit the market. We don't want to be notified when it's sold, like it's already too late. You know what I mean? So what do? We go to our agent to agent. We type in our asterisk original. How many are there on the market right now? 25. We hit results. We hit save. We hit new auto email contact. That would be you. CC anyone who you want CC'd. Agent, original, scroll down, ASAP, save. Back to residential. This time we go to the public. Asterisk, original. It is not case sensitive, so don't worry. I think there were 25 in the agent to agent, and there's 64 in the public. Results, save, new auto email, contacts, whoever you want being notified, CC anyone who you want getting those emails, subject, public, original. So for example, I took a lot of time to come up with some of these searches that I believe made the most amount of sense. And I've gotten deals from all of these, right? Like if a realtor puts this property is in original condition, that might be something that is worth making an offer on. If this house was built 20, 30 years ago and they haven't even bothered changing out the carpets, there's a good chance that property is not going to sell for top dollar, and it might make a lot of sense for a cash buyer to come in, make a lowball offer. If especially if that seller is in some sort of a motivating situation, where they haven't bothered fixing anything in the last 30 years, and now all of a sudden they need to sell for whatever reason, that is a good property to be notified about. So I like to get notified whenever something is advertised to be in original condition. Okay, now that we've gone over examples for properties that have keywords, like the ones in yellow, let's take a look at one like DOM, days on market. How do we set that one up? Well, you don't do anything with agent to agent or with public remarks. What you do is you just go to this filter right here that says DOM, days on market. And again, if this isn't standard on your MLS, go to the add or remove and just find it in here. So here are the ones that I like having. I like having 30 days on market, 60 days on market, 90 days on market, 120 days on market, 150 days on market, 178 days on market, and 180 days on market. So 30, 60, 90, 120, 150, 180, right? So every 30 days, with the exception of 178. Now, you might be wondering, why on earth 178, Ray? Like, is that your lucky number or something? Well, no. But I like to put myself in the mind of the person who I'm trying to close here. Okay. When a property is listed on the MLS, you're never negotiating directly with the seller. You are negotiating with the seller's realtor. And ultimately, I'm not saying realtors don't care about doing what's best for their client. I'm not saying that at all. However, they ultimately care about making sure that they get paid. And I can't blame them. This is how they feed themselves, how they pay their bills. I don't blame them. Now, something you need to know is most realtors, when they take a listing, they agree that that listing is going to be for 180 days or 6 months, essentially. So if that property hasn't sold in 178 days, let's say that is a $400,000 property, which is pretty average here in Las Vegas. That is $12,000 that if the realtor hasn't sold that house in the next 2 days, that realtor is not getting that $12,000 payday that they once thought they were going to get, which means on day 178, that realtor might be really, really, really motivated to get, any sort of offer in front of a seller no matter what. So, I like to call that 178-day search motivated agent as opposed to motivated seller. For the sake of this video, I'm not gonna, set up 30, 60, 90, want all that crap. I'm just gonna set up, 30, maybe 60, show you guys how it's done. But you can go on your own time and set up the other searches. So there are 40 properties that have been on the market exactly 30 days. And make sure you're not putting any like plus signs or minus signs or anything like that because for instance, if I put a plus sign right there, it's going to show me 3500 properties, which means there are 3500 properties on the market right now that have been on the market for over 30 days. So we just want exactly 30. So hit results, hit save, new auto email, contact, there you go. CC his partner, and then I put DOM or I just put 30 days on market, just like that. And guys, I'm telling you, don't be lazy and like decide, oh, I'm too cool to set up that filter. I don't need that filter. Go ahead, especially if you're in Las Vegas. I'm just gonna continue getting all these deals off the MLS. Um, which maybe I shouldn't even be showing you guys how to do all this, but I wholeheartedly believe that a rising tide lifts all ships. So if we all get more knowledge and more educated, I fully, fully believe we'll just all make more money, myself included. So um, I really, really don't mind showing you guys how I do this. Okay, so I think this is 60 days on market, ASAP, and boom, there we go. Now let's go ahead to our next type of search, which is short sale. Now the ones in green, these already kind of come standard on the MLS, and it's just your job to flick them on. So here's how you do that. You're back here at your auto search, not your auto search, but like your search criteria. Um, you see right here where it says short sale. You just have to hit yes. Okay. And you see how there's 18 properties on the market that the realtor has said, hey, this property is a short sale, meaning the seller owes more money to the bank than what this property is actually worth. So when the property sells, the seller's not going to make any money from the sale of this home at all. For instance, let's say the house is worth $400,000, but they owe the bank $500,000. If the bank approves the sale at $400,000, the bank's just going to take all 400 and the seller's not getting anything because again they owe more money than what it's actually worth. So these properties are really good to just make a super 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 lowball offer on because the seller knows we're not going to see a dollar from that deal anyway. So it doesn't matter to the seller if the property sells for $1 or if it sells for $400,000 because no matter how much it sells for, the bank is getting all of that money. So these sellers are a lot less emotional about the price than your typical seller because they don't know they know that they're not getting anything anyway. So whenever I see a property that hit the market as a short sale, you already know I'm hitting them with a lowball offer. And here's a pro tip that has helped me get a good amount of short sales accepted. Find a way to help that seller or help that realtor with something that does not necessarily, mean increasing the purchase price. So, for example, we got a short sale done because I was willing to pay we got my offer accepted because I was willing to pay for a moving company to move all of the seller's belongings into their next residence because the seller knew they weren't getting any money anyway. So I think I paid like $1,500 out of my own money to just hire a couple movers to move things across town. And the seller was like, "Yeah, let me accept this offer." And the realtor presented that offer to the bank. So always find out like how you can help somebody out. It's gonna both help them and it's gonna help you get a deal as well. And I'm actually also making a video on all the questions that we ask realtors when we're negotiating and whatnot, so we can figure out how we can best help the seller and ultimately get our offer accepted. So that's why I like to go after these short sales. Okay, so we hit results, save, new auto email, select your name, Short sale. Okay. Notify ASAP. I almost said Rocky after I said ASAP, but I'm not that cringe. So yeah. Or maybe I am. I don't know. All right. Foreclosure. That one is done the exact same way. Go to residential. You see there's a foreclosure commenced. Yes or no? Yes. If the foreclosure process has already started, there's probably some motivation there if someone is going to get foreclosed on. So it's worth calling 10 out of 10 times. Results, save, new auto email, contact Gabe. There we go. Foreclosure ASAP. Save. Cool. Now, the white ones, I've made so much money on these three filters right here. Like these three filters are money. Um, this one right here. So these two are good for like cash fixer uppers. Whenever I get an email about one of these two, it's probably going to be a fixer upper. OWC stands for owner will carry, which is another way of saying seller finance. If you're not too familiar with seller finance, I actually just got done making like a 90 something slide PowerPoint that I'm going to be recording and uploading to YouTube, talking about how I made over $100,000 on 4 seller finance deals that I found right off of the MLS. So, average of 25K a pop. A little more than that because it was like $105,000, or I don't even remember anymore. I have to go look at my spreadsheet, but I'll show you guys pretty soon how I do all of that. But for the meantime, let me show you guys how to set up these filters so you can at least get notified of these properties. Starting off with OWC. Okay, we go to Matrix, back over to residential. You want to go to the section called financing considered, and you scroll down to where it says owner will carry. Again, owner will carry is the exact same thing as seller finance. Looks like there are 146 properties on the MLS right now where the seller is willing to do some sort of seller finance. So don't tell me you can't find seller finance deals, because if you can't get one out of 146, you should just go do some sales training, honestly, because like that's pretty sad. So, but that's okay. It's okay if you suck right now, but just don't suck forever, you know. So, I used to suck too, so it's all good. And what I just did there is I saw my friend had it set up to only show 25 properties at once. I like seeing at least 100 at a time. You typically don't need that many, but it's just easier whenever you do need it. So that's all I did there. All right. So right here, contact my friend, obviously. Um, OWC, owner will carry, same thing as seller finance. All right, perfect. Now, let me show you guys these next two filters. These two right here are money. I'm telling you guys. Okay, these are a tad bit more complicated to set up, but they're really not all that difficult. So, let's see how we do them. Okay, we're back here at our search. As you can see, this one is it needs to have two things. One, the property needs to be vacant, and two, they must only be willing to sell for cash. Why is that important? If they're only willing to sell for cash, that probably means that the property is in such bad shape that the bank will not finance it. So it needs to be sold to a cash buyer. And it's vacant, so probably means that it's in such bad shape that it's not even habitable. So if a property is in that bad of condition, it might be really good for a fix and flip or for a wholesale. So let me show you guys exactly what you need to do so you don't miss out on any of those deals. And again, most of my deals have came from these two filters right here, just FYI. Okay, so we go to where it says occupancy description. And again, if your MLS doesn't have occupancy description, just go add it, pretty simple. And I've set this up for a couple of my friends in other states. Some states MLSs call it something slightly different for each of these, but just kind of read, like for instance, another state's MLS might not say financing considered, but it might say acceptable financing or financing, like something along the same lines. So just pay attention to what you're reading would be my biggest advice, or with anything really, not just with with this. But okay, occupancy description, vacant. Okay, financing considered. We click on not, and then we click on literally everything except for cash. So they're not considering. So what we're selecting here is not considering any of these except cash. And okay, click and it must be vacant. Um, or is it or? Shoot. Let me see. No, it's and. Yeah, and duh, that makes sense. So it looks like right now there are 0 on MLS. Um, let me just I want to fact check that real quick by logging into my MLS and just making sure that I set that up correctly because it's been a while since I last set this up, to be honest with you guys. So I just want to make sure I don't misclick on anything. Occupancy description. Oh, yep. Okay. Yeah. I see. My apologies. This is how it's supposed to look. Vacant up here and right underneath it, not right here, and then select on everything except cash. Okay. That's what it's supposed to look like. That makes more sense. Um, and so it says we have 68. And so if you look at these, chances are most of them are in pretty bad shape. Like, yeah, I mean, looks like what on earth is going on here? And let me just cross reference this. What I'm doing here is you see right here where it says financing considered cash. If they were accepting other forms of financing, it would say it right here. It would say cash, conventional, FHA, whatever. But it's only saying cash, so that means we did that correct. And residency, it's showing that it's vacant. So we did that correct. And here in occupancy, it shows vacant as well. So we did that correct. Save. New auto email. Gabe. Vacant. Cash only. Whoops. Vacant. Cash only. ASAP. Save. Okay, that's how we do that one. That one you don't have to do twice. You just set that one up once. Now let me show you guys how to set up cash under 5 picks. This is a good one too. Photo count 5 less, 5 or less. Okay. And then financing considered, not any of these except cash. And looks like we have 26 properties that they're only accepting cash and they have less than 5 pictures up. When you see that, it's probably a fixer upper. If they're not even like willing to go into that property, it's probably in pretty bad shape. Um, or there's something going on with it. So I've gotten a ton of deals from that. Alrighty, so we've done at least 1 or 2 of every single color. I'm telling you guys, this is exactly how you have to set up your auto searches for your MLS. If you guys have any questions, drop them down below. But this is literally, these are the searches that I set up to make a couple $100,000 a year off the MLS. Any questions, leave them down below. Peace.